Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. This is finally going to be my Man on the Moon 3 review, Kid Cudi. I really enjoyed this album. I'm sorry that it took me so long to get this review out, but as I've said, they take a while and I've just been rolling them out. I am going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly format for this review, but please keep in mind that that's within the context of I enjoyed this album and I actually liked pretty much all the songs on here except for one, which I'll get to. But yeah, keep that in the back of your mind as I do this review that I did like pretty much every song. So the good, the bad, and the ugly is kind of relative. I don't really think any of the songs on Man on the Moon 3 are bad. Even the song that I personally don't like, I don't think is a bad song. I do have some criticisms. My main criticism of this album is that it has too many tracks. Too many tracks. I really feel like I've been hitting this wall of like so many of the albums that I listen to have too many tracks. Like I know the Kid Cudi like loves a long ass album. Like I know that Scott loves a long album, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayin', Speeding Bullet to Heaven. He has plenty of albums that have like 50 tracks fucking each. But like Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayin' and Speeding Bullet to Heaven are my least favorite Kid Cudi albums. And part of why is because I feel like I can never get all the way through them. Man on the Moon 3, I feel like for me, the perfect album is one that I can like get in the car and I can listen to the whole thing, beginning to end in roughly 45 minutes, something like that. Anything over that is, I feel like it's just getting into too long territory. Man on the Moon 3 has 18 tracks, not even including Leader of the Delinquents, which was like a teaser song. Adventures of Moonman and Slim wasn't included. Thinking that they are probably maybe gonna release those additional tracks on, like a deluxe album or something like that. And that would bring the track list to 20, which is just too many. I personally feel like this album could have stopped at track 13, which is The Void. And I think that would have been a perfect length. I think The Void would have been a perfect ender. I would have swapped some songs out. I would have rearranged some things on this album. I did feel like the mixing and the song selection was a bit off on this album. There are several songs on here that sound the same. There are several songs on here that are under 3 minutes, which you guys know I don't like. A song that's under 3 minutes, I feel, is not a song. It's an interlude, I went back and I looked at some of Scott's other albums. I looked at the track listing for Man on the Moon 1, for example. There were 15 songs on there, and only one song was under 3 minutes. And that was Simple As That, which is Simple As, which was 2 minutes and 31 seconds. On Man on the Moon 3, in comparison, there are 6 songs under 3 minutes and 18 tracks. Why? Some of those songs, again, could have been combined. Some of those songs I really enjoy, and so you have to just like loop them and loop them and loop them. And I do feel like albums are trending in this direction of having more tracks that are shorter because motherfuckers' attention spans are too short to sit through a full-length song with at least, 2 verses, a bridge, and 3 hooks, which is like standard song structure. I feel like people just don't have the attention span for that these days. I feel like the element of creating an album is becoming a lost art. Deciding how long tracks are going to be, how many tracks are going to be on a project, what order they're going to be in. I really feel like streaming services and, TikTok and stuff like that is making the idea of an album, obsolete. And I know I'm not like the first person to say this, as I've said previously. I know people have been talking about this in the music industry for years. Beyonce has, gone on the record as saying things like this, but I feel like it's really becoming like more and more apparent that album creation is leaning towards, what's going to be a hit as a 1-minute snippet on TikTok, or what's going to be a song with the most chance of being selected for a Spotify playlist, instead of like a cohesive album. It's like you don't really need a cohesive album anymore. You don't even really need cohesive songs anymore. You just need like at least 1 minute of a song that's good that can be looped on TikTok or something like that. Or you need, a million songs so that people have more song selection to get on these streaming playlists. So that's just something I wanted to, start off by saying. I know it seems like I'm starting off on like a negative note, even though I said I liked the album, but I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest because I feel like I'm saying it repeatedly as I review albums. I said the same thing about Good News. I just feel like I'm really like running up against this wall of like too many songs. Songs are too short. Songs seem like they're meant to be played, at random and not digested altogether. Song selection is all out of whack. And I just, I really got that feeling with this album. Even though I know there's like themed acts, the song selection was just a bit all over the place for me. So, little preamble, because it's just something I've been thinking about every single time I review. I am still planning on reviewing Hotels by Jasmine Sullivan, so we'll see if I feel the same way with that, even though that's an EP. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into the good, because as I said previously, this is going to be in the good, the bad, and the ugly format. So I want to start off the good by saying that I love the skits. I love the skits on Man on the Moon 3. You really don't hear too many skits on albums anymore, especially rap albums. Gone are the days of Ludacris, who loved the skit. OG Kanye, broke, broke. We ain't got it. We don't hear that too much anymore. I also mentioned in my Chloe and Halle Ungodly Hour review that I really appreciated their skits as well. It's just something nice to, to hear on an album. It was nice to hear audio clips from really recognizable movies, clips from Castaway, clips from Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Scott, it's not worth it. Don't give him the satisfaction. What if I want the satisfaction? I loved that. And I really felt like there were some great songs on here that were just really sort of classic Kid Cudi, sort of classic Moon Man. I felt like She Knows This was just a banger, right out the gate. There was a beat change around 1 minute and 55 seconds that I really liked. There was a flow switch. And again, this is part of why I like songs that are a little bit longer, because I appreciate that kind of stuff. I appreciate a beat change. I appreciate, a song where I can hear 3 different flows on one song. You get a little bit more opportunity when you have a little bit of a longer song with a little bit of a more standard even though I don't like the word standard, but I'm going to use standard for this, a more standard song structure. So I thought that She Knows This was a banger. I love Dive. I felt like that was a classic, Cudi beat. Dun, 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 dun. I felt like Dive was maybe my favorite song on Man on the Moon 3. I just felt like it knocked from beginning to end, and y'all know that I love something that knocks. Like, things are getting gnarly, got my whiskey by my side. Like, I put that one on, and I just, like, clean my bathroom, clean my house, blast it in my car, listen to it in the morning, listen to it at night. It's just one of those songs that I could, like, listen to all the time. Like, that vibe, do-do-do-do, with the classic Kid Cudi little hum. Like, I love that one. A lot of these songs, like, I really felt like a lot of these songs was, like, Cudi kind of getting in his bag a little bit, similar to how I felt about K.O.D. by J. Cole, which I also reviewed. Kind of this idea of like a OG, because you could say now that, somebody like a Kid Cudi or a J. Cole, that these artists are now considered OGs or whatever in the hip hop game, and kind of hearing a OG kind of like stretch a little bit and even like flex a little bit of like, I'm your OG and you'll respect me as such. And I've seen people say that they felt like Man on the Moon 3 was like overly trendy, which I don't mind that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it's overly trendy, but I also don't mind when I sort of hear some OGs kind of like showing why they're OGs, showing why they're great, showing why they're not flash in the pan artists. So many of the artists that we're seeing right now are just kind of like coming and going. They come in with a couple hits and then they're gone. Designer, where's motherfucking Designer right now? Fetty Wap, where's Fetty Wap right now? There's a lot of people that's like coming in with a hit and then they're gone. So it's kind of nice to see some of these OGs kind of like stretching out. Jay-Z did this as well a little bit on 444. I'm in with you. Enough of this. I know killers, killer, huh? Just like, I can get in your lane. I can do the mumble rap. I can do the this type of rap, the that type of rap. I can also, get on with what's hot and what's trendy right now. And I'm still gonna out rap because I'm a rapper and I can out rap anyone. That was how I felt listening to some of these Kid Cudi songs. And I also felt like Kid Cudi was flexing a little bit because it's sort of like, what's popping right now? Kid Cudi is the father of all of this. Like, all this, like, to hear people say, like, oh, it's too trendy, it sounds like Travis Scott. Like, Travis Scott is literally, his stage name is literally Travis Scott because he picked the name Scott after Kid Cudi, because he's, like, a Kid Cudi stan, which is why they now have this group, the Scotts, even though I don't know if they have had a falling out or anything like that. I was surprised that Travis wasn't on here, but a Trippie Redd, who I fucking hate, fucking zombie-ass weirdo, like he was on here, and but like all these people have like been birthed from Kid Cudi's lane. Even Drake birthed from Kid Cudi's lane. The emo rap, the let's talk about my feelings rap, the I'm sad rap, I'm depressed, I'm a rocker, I got my rocker tees, real rock star shit, Black Beatle shit. Like all this shit really came from, in a lot of ways, Kid Cudi. And I know some people would also say Lil Wayne, which I would not argue with, but I feel like Kid Cudi has had such an oversized influence. And so it's really interesting to see people kind of say that like he's too trendy, or that he's like, trying to hop on the trend or hop on what's popping or hop on the wave. It's like Kid Cudi created this wave. And so I feel like you have some songs on here where it's kind of like he's almost like flexing, like, I made this wave. It's not a trend. I'm not trend hopping. Like, this is me. Like, they're on my wave. So I just wanted to say that. Next song that I liked. I really liked Elsie's Baby Boy. It starts with another like little skit. It's kind of like a rock one about his family. I love Wizard. I love when Kid Cudi does the rock stuff. I know that's not for everyone, but I really fucked with this song. Even though there's a lot less rock influence on this album overall, which was kind of disappointing for me as a Wizard fan. I enjoyed that there was like a little something on there with Elsie's Baby Boy. I loved hearing Scott talk about his family, his upbringing. I loved the catchiness of the melody, excuse me, from the guitar riff. So hard in the winter, little sad boy, Elsie's Baby Boy. The melody, like Kid Cudi has an ear for melody, and that's never left him. Like, he's always had an ear for melody, an ear for really good instrumentation, kind of bluesy, rockabilly almost. I really liked Elsie's Baby Boy, and I wouldn't mind if Kid Cudi even did a whole album kind of like in that, a little more of that vein, because I love when he does the rock stuff. That's something else that I do feel like is like really true to him. And as one of those, Kid Cudi saved my life type of fanatics, which I am, I can admit, like one of those, like, Moon Man just like reached down and like saved me. It's always nice to hear him talk about, his personal life and some of his feelings and his growing up. We all know that his father passing away had like a huge oversized impact on him and his emotions, and even his inner sadness, his inner monologue, his depression, and trying to deal with things. And even though he's had ups and downs, this album and this song in particular, I felt like was coming from a really good place and not such of a dark place. So I really appreciated this one a lot. I would love a whole album in this kind of bluesy vein. Really enjoyed For the Kids. That might be my second favorite song on here. I thought it sounded like OG Man on the Moon Scott. I thought it was just really, really good. I loved the lyrics. I felt like Scott was really riding the beat from the minute the beat starts, from the minute the song comes on. He's really showing his lyricism and showing his flow. Like Scott has a lot of fucking flows, and I love the hook. I wrote down some of the lyrics because I really liked some of the lyrics from the beginning. I love this lyric and I love this flow. Do it all day for the kiddies. Real life dreamers in the suburbs and the cities. Like, it was a great ride. Like, he was riding the beat from the beginning. Like, ooh, children of the night, thinking of a vision that be coming to fruition. Yeah, no, well, dreaming intermission. That to me kind of gave me some of the old original Man on the Moon, because I know people are always complaining, like, we want Man on the Moon, we want Man on the Moon. Like, okay, like this is a Man on the Moon. Like, this is the actual Man on the Moon type of vibe. I felt like the breakdown and the bridge around 2:11 was really, really good. I loved the hook on this one. This is just the right vibe. Turn it loud if you need to. I loved the message of this one. This to me was like classic Scott. Like, we won't leave you alone. Like, we're here for you. This to me just felt like this is something that's like really for the fans, and especially the OG fans, those of us that have been there from day one and have been rocking with Kid Cudi and rocking with his stuff. This felt kind of like a love letter to us. And then at the end, that was the one that had the Castaway skit. I have made fire, and I just love that one. I felt like it just hit me right in the feels. I felt like songs like this, and I wrote in my notes, like songs like this one feel like a love letter to the fans. You know, songs like this one is like why we love the Moon Man. You know, it just feels like he's talking directly to us and trying to like give us some encouragement. And that same type of feeling is also why I really enjoyed The Void. I will fall in the void. And then the message of The Void, and especially the ending of it, which is like, you know, you're going to be okay. And The Void is also a very long song. It's like 5 minutes long. I just really think The Void should have been a last song. Even if nothing was changed, you know, in songs 1 through 13, even though my second favorite song is For the Kids, which came after The Void, but even if nothing else was changed, I think that like it would have been just a phenomenal album if it was just songs 1 to 13 and then ended on The Void, and then maybe the extras could have been like, I don't know, extra tracks or B-side tracks or something like that. It was just too many songs, and a lot of songs that like wasn't hitting me as much as the ones that I really, really liked. You know, like why couldn't we have just like ended? It took me a long time to even listen to like what I think of in my mind as the second half of the album, because I kept listening to tracks 1 through 13 and like stopping at The Void because it was just the right length. That's like 30 to 35 minutes. It was like a great closer, nice long song, and I just didn't want to listen to it anymore. So I wish that. And then when I did listen to it, like I said, I got to songs like For the Kids, which I absolutely loved. But I really wish that there had been some type of song selection and just like some rearranging of tracks. But I loved The Void. I felt like, you know, this is the type of music that you put on where you're having those like bad thoughts, which is, you know, a lot of us, that's why not the only reason, but a lot of us, that's how we got into Kid Cudi. That's why we listen to Kid Cudi. You know, we enjoy hearing this type of music. We love the party music too. Like, we love the drug music too. We just love him. He understands us, and we love him, and we understand him. And The Void gave me that feeling, and I wish it was the last song. Ooh, I wish it was the last song, but it wasn't. But instead, the last song on here is Lord I Know, which to me is just a fine song. Like, not a great song. A good song, you know, a song that I like, but not a great ending. And then it actually does end with a to be continued type of thing, which makes me think that maybe Man on the Moon 4 is coming, I guess. You know, I guess we'll have to see. And I'm actually going to use that to kind of like segue into the bad. So I like Rockstar Nights. I hate Trippie Redd. I don't really think Trippie Redd could rap. Again, I know that some people felt like, you know, there was like some like overly mainstream stuff on here. And like I said, I personally feel like some of that stuff was put on here for fun. You know, kind of like playing around with the current sound to sort of show they could like beast on that too. And I think that especially on something like Rockstar Nights, there's almost like a braggadocious sound, you know, like I am the father of you niggas, like I'm the father of your whole genre. And to me, listening to it, it sounded like number one, Trippie Redd got put on there as a favor to somebody. Like, I don't know, some executive called that in. You know, sometimes you like listen to something and you sound like, okay, like what is this person doing here? I don't know, maybe Kid Cudi loves this dude and like handpicked him, you know, I really don't know. But to me, it just sounded like it sounded like the purpose of the song with Trippie Redd was to like showcase Cudi's influence and to show that like all these little emo rappers like Trippie Redd are his sons. And I feel like Scott washed him on the track, and it was almost like the whole point of having him on there was to get washed. Like, just Scott was like wrapping circles around him. I literally like fast forward through all the Trippie Redd's parts because there's also like a beat switch up on Rockstar Nights as well. It's around 2:43, and I just felt like Scott was wrapping circles around him, and then like the beat changes, and then he just like is on, like he's on fire, and he's like wrapping circles around him even more, like to the point where it's like a little bit disrespectful. And so it's just like, why? Like, this could have been a solo track. Like, why is this on here? And there were several songs on here that I felt like were either they could have been solo tracks or just like, why is this here? The Beautiful Trip intro, I felt like, again, it's just fine. It's nothing special. Tequila Shots, another medium song. It's fine. Why is this here? I get that it has sort of that like classic Man on the Moon like voiceover, which I never liked. The man when he had Common, the man wakes up in the moon. Doom doom. This like spoken word. That's not my jam. Didn't enjoy that. But I know people will like it. Tequila Shots had like a very recognizable sound, sort of classic Kid Cudi, but it's just kind of like fine, kind of like medium. Another Day was a song that I just thought was kind of fine, medium. And I know I keep saying, you know, it's fine, but I felt like there were a lot of songs, especially since it's 18 tracks, there are a lot of songs on here that were just fine. Like, oh, I like them. Some of them have like the classic Kid Cudi sound. I like what he's saying. They're fine enough songs, but I really think that like at this stage in his career, songs that are like fine or okay should be like making it onto an album, especially an album that you're gonna call Man on the Moon, because you know people are gonna have certain expectations of anything that's called Man on the Moon. I felt like on Another Day, for example, at 2:37, he started humming, which, you know, I do like the Kid Cudi hum. That's my favorite part of the song. At 2:57, the beat changed on Another Day, and I actually preferred that beat to the rest of the beat on the song. I thought he started rapping a little bit better. There was like some auto-tune that was introduced that I liked, kind of like 808s and Heartbreak type of sound. But I felt like there were a lot of songs on Man on the Moon 3 that were not super experimental in terms of sound. And after Kids See Ghosts, now I have not listened to anything under like the Scots, but the last thing that I listened to, and you guys can let me know if I miss anything else, was Kids See Ghosts, which had like some very experimental sounds. And I loved Kids See Ghosts so much. I had the opposite problem with Kids See Ghosts that I have with Man on the Moon 3. Kids See Ghosts was too short. Kids See Ghosts was only like 10 tracks. I wish, and some of these songs like sound like maybe they were kind of like inspired by Kids See Ghosts, or, you know, sort of maybe like some rejects or some offshoots from Kids See Ghosts. But I felt like Kids See Ghosts was like super experimental in terms of sound. Wizard, super experimental in terms of sound. There was some stuff on Indica, super experimental. Some stuff on, you know, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, and Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Man on the Moon 3 is definitely not experimental enough for me personally, for my personal taste, which is also why I kind of understand the criticism of people feeling like this album is a little bit too, you know, mainstream, I guess, or trendy, because I do wish that there was like a little bit more experimentation. And I'm gonna like use that to kind of like segue into the ugly, even though, again, keep in the back of your mind that I don't think that these songs that I'm going to talk about in the ugly are like fucking terrible songs or anything like that, but they're just kind of like blah songs to me. So I didn't really like Damaged all that much. It's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and it's just another like fine song. Like it was a fine song. Like I like the song, but like it's nothing special. So I felt like, why is it here? Like I felt like if you heard Trouble Boy, you know, now I can't think of how it goes. Trouble Boy, Trouble Boy. Like if you've heard Trouble Boy on Satellite Flight, you've heard Damaged. So like, why is Damaged on here? Satellite Flight, another album that was Satellite Flight could have been called Man on the Moon 3. It was like very on theme, on brand, way more experimental in terms of sound for me. Like Heaven on Earth, I didn't like. I put this one in the ugly because I hated the beat. It reminded me of the Crybaby beat off Good News, which you guys know I also hated. Least favorite beat, least favorite song. I don't know if it's like the same producer or if it's just like a similar sounding beat. I really don't know what this type of beat, the beat on Crybaby, on Good News, or the beat on Heaven on Earth. I just don't get what this beat is supposed to be serving. Like, like, you know, it's serving Silent Hill, like it's serving murdered children. Like Megan Thee Stallion's Crybaby is obviously like named that because this sound evokes the sound of like a crib mobile or something like that. And I just don't like it. Like it's just my personal taste. I do like his flow on the beat, and I do like his lyrics and his lyricism. I did not like the ad-libs on Heaven on Earth. I felt like the ad-libs were giving Migos. Like, it was definitely like a more mainstream kind of trendy one. Like, yeah, yeah, like, okay, Quavo and Offset in the back. Like, this is another one that kind of sounds like an executive threw it on here or something like that. Again, I do still like Scott's bars. So it's like semi-listenable, even though I hate the fucking beat. There's some lyrics that I do like. I've written down. There's nothing in this world that can keep me from peace but me. Really like that one. The devil is out. He's onto me. Angels are protecting my soul. You know, like kind of classic Kid Cudi, you know, dark, light, good, evil, my soul, I'm my own worst enemy. Classic kind of stuff, but I just didn't like the beat. And I didn't understand why it was here. And another one that I didn't like and didn't understand why it was here, the fucking Pop Smoke song with the fucking British dude, I don't even know his fucking name. You guys know the UK drill shit is not for me. The accent sounds ridiculous. You got guns the size of Kevin Hart. Only thing I have to say about this song is it's amazing how many posthumous pop verses are out here. R.I.P. Pop. That's all I have to give that one. I hated that one. Again, another one that sounded like an executive. Like, why? Again, maybe it's not. Like, maybe Kid Cudi, like, knew Pop Smoke in real life and he's, like, really friends with these people and these were, like, choices that he made. But it sounds like, why? Like, why? Why is this on here? What is this even supposed to be? It wasn't for me. Solo Dolo 3, I didn't care for. I felt like nothing about this gives me Solo Dolo. I don't know why it's called Solo Dolo, you know, especially considering Solo Dolo Part 2 with Kendrick Lamar was fucking fire. Come now, last call, who wants some? It's just me, two bitches and dirty drums. Like, I don't even know why this is called Solo Dolo Part 3. That one felt like it had a lot of hype and it didn't live up to the hype. Again, another perfectly fine song. But when you have songs on here that are actually great, like For the Kids, which I would say is a great song, The Void, which I would say is a great song, Dive, which I would say is a great song, and then you have a song that's called Solo Dolo Part 3 that's just not memorable. It's not super fire. Like, it's fine. And especially when Solo Dolo is a classic and Solo Dolo Part 2 is, like, iconic with Kendrick Lamar. I don't know what Solo Dolo Part 3 was. That could have been left off. Sad People I didn't like. Sad People was kind of his signature opening notes and melody, but just a fine song. Just like a blah fine song. September 6th, another one, you know. Oh, I need your love all over me. A fine song, cute song, you know, another nice melody. I felt at this point of September 16th, I felt like the album basically like tips over into ASMR. Like, this is music to go to sleep to. All the songs are now running together, you know, which is fine. But again, it presses on the fact that there's too many tracks. The Pale Moonlight, another fine song. Not good enough to be on here if I'm, you know, in my opinion. I felt like Pale Moonlight also actually sounded dated. It sounded very like 2007, you know, to me. Didn't really like that one. Boring. Not a bad song, but just boring. Not experimental, not modern, not contemporary, not fresh, new, interesting. It's not knocking. It's not a party song. It's not really a good introspective. Like, it's just nothing. Like, it just wasn't for me, you know. The song was like super short. Pale Moonlight, random ass girl on there. I know Kid Cudi loves to have random people on albums, MGMT, Rat-a-Tat, Thundercat. He was a lot of people's introduction to those artists, but I just felt like the song was boring and random. And The Pale Moonlight is the only song on here that I actively did not like. That's the one that I was just like, this one definitely should have motherfucking been fucking cut. I don't know how it ended up on this album. Sorry, but no. So again, overall, I really enjoyed this album. I think it did have a really nice sound. I thought it had a good production, good beats, great lyrics, good hooks, and it continues on in this sort of tradition of the ability of Scott to sort of evoke this emotion in listeners, especially, you know, long-term fans, to feel like he's talking to us directly and he's trying to help us. Again, though, too many songs, which sort of dampens the listening experience for me personally, because you have some really great, amazing songs, and then you have some songs that are just fine, and then you have that one song that I like actively didn't like. And just, you know, for you to have a little bit of perspective on the Kid Cudi albums that like I like. My personal favorite Kid Cudi projects, in, you know, no real order. I could maybe order them at a later date, but in no real order, my favorites by Kid Cudi are Man on the Moon 2, Indicud, Satellite Flight, Wizard, and Kids See Ghosts. So I'm like not even like some Kid Cudi purist, like, you know, Man on the Moon was like the best thing he's ever done, and like nothing has ever. I personally like Indicud and Satellite Flight and Wizard. And probably Man on the Moon too. I probably like all of those better than Man on the Moon. So like, it's not even like I'm a purist, but I just really felt like this one was not experimental enough in terms of sound. It was like really too many tracks, and a lot of the tracks just kind of rested on like just being fine. But the songs that I did really fuck with, I really, really fucked with. And the first 13 tracks, I do feel like I can listen to beginning to end without any problem. And then after The Void, I just kind of like pick and choose the songs that I like, which again, like For the Kids is probably my second favorite song on here after Dive. Those are like my two favorites, just they just like hit every note for me. And then probably Elsie's Baby Boy is probably my third favorite because I did love the bluesy kind of rockabilly sound on there. So Man on the Moon 3, this is my review video for Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi. Let me know what you guys think, if you've listened to this, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. I know this one seemed like it was extremely polarizing for people. I know it took me a while to get this review up, but I've been rolling them out kind of in reverse order. So this is my last one of my 2020 reviews that I wanted to complete. So the next review will be for Jasmine Sullivan's Hotels. I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to that one. And when I have some time, I'm still planning on doing Flo Milli, Ho, Why'd You Here? Because that was one of my favorite releases in 2020. Some of you have said you guys might want something along the lines of me saying what were some of my favorite projects of 2020. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in a full video on, and I'll see if I can do that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. Food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Peace.